Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, just hello, how are you? I am going to do another true crime and makeup. That's basically all we do on this channel, and I am sipping some tea. If you also are new here, I'm Noelle and I do true crime and makeup. Chill with the motorcycle. Okay, so today's case that we are talking about is a crazy one. I didn't really know about this case until maybe like a year or so ago, and it's crazy. We are talking about the Greyhound murder. Like, yes, someone got killed on the Greyhound bus, and we're gonna talk all about it and what happened. It's a crazy one, it's a brutal one. So strap on your seatbelts and get ready because this one is crazy. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in. Tim Mclean was born October 3rd, 1985 in Manitoba, Canada. Some small little town in Canada. Sorry if I butchered that and you live in Canada, but he lived in a little small town in Canada. Tim's friends said he was extremely fun and so exciting to be around and really, really nice. Again, another kind of person. I always wonder, why does this stuff happen to good people and nice people? Because when we talk about these people, like the victims, usually they were so nice, the best people, and I'm just like, why? Like, why did this stuff have to happen to them? Anyways, so Tim was another one of those really nice, easygoing, everybody loved him kind of person. And just honestly super sweet and definitely a huge people person. Tim was 22 years old at the time of this incident. So one of Tim's long-term friends, there wasn't too much about his background really that I can find, but one of his long-term friends that he's known for like ever, since like first grade or something, so they go like way back, told him to pack his bags and he was just gonna be gone for a week to go on this little like business venture or so. He didn't really know what it was. He just packed his bags and he was like, okay, like, you have work for me. This was supposed to be like over the summer kind of thing. It turns out that this business venture was actually a carnival position. So he was gonna be working for the carnival, which I think is so fun. I can't even imagine doing that. Like, I think that would be so fun to be on the road and just experiencing carnival life. And you know, people in the carnival are really close knit and just, you know, a little community. So Tim really enjoyed this job. It was supposed to be just like over the summer kind of thing, and I think it turned out to be a little longer than he expected it to be, but he really enjoyed this job. He was such a people person, like I said, and he liked the job. He thought it was a lot of fun, and I probably would agree with him. Like, the carnival life sounds fun. So Colleen was a long-term friend of Tim's. I'm not sure if it's the friend that invited him on this business venture, but I'm kind of assuming so. They knew each other for a very long time too, like since elementary school, and I think they had a little bit of a thing, and they ended up starting to hang out after Colleen's divorce. She unfortunately had recently been divorced. Well, maybe it wasn't unfortunate for her. Maybe girl was happy, like, yes, let me get away from him. So they started hanging out and stuff a lot more, and they definitely ended up having a thing because Colleen ends up pregnant with Tim's kid. So I mean, right, they had to have a thing. I don't know why I'm like, oh, I think they had a thing. They had to have a thing. Duh, if she ends up pregnant. Like, how do babies come into the world, Noelle? Colleen also has 2 kids from her previous marriage. So she is already a mama and has 2 kids, and they aren't Tim's, but Tim is gonna be stepdaddy, and you know, they have a baby on the way together. So that's always really exciting, right? Tim went back to Winnipeg to prepare to move to British Columbia because he wanted to make a move. And so he is getting ready to move to British Columbia. So he's going back home to like prepare all his stuff from this carnival job. These powders have a lot of fallout. There's just like powder everywhere. Tim's friends offered to buy him a plane ticket because it was gonna take him a really long time to get back to Winnipeg, and they were just like, you know, we'll buy you a plane ticket. But Tim is just like, no, like, I'll just take the bus. Even though the bus was gonna be a 24-hour ride, a 24-hour bus ride, but he was just like, fuck it, like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go. Don't worry about spending your money on a plane ticket. Like, I'll just, you know, thug out the bus, basically. I'll just do the bus ride is what Tim is saying. July 30th, the bus 1770 is the Greyhound bus that Tim was on. There's another guy in the story, of course. Vincent Lee was born in China, April 30th, 1968. He moved to Canada in 2001 and he finished school, and then he got his computer degree. So he had a degree in computers, which is impressive. Like, okay, Vincent. So in 2002, that's when he got his computer degree. He was married to a lady named Anna and they lived in Winnipeg, Canada. So he liked his job, but he really didn't speak very well English. So there definitely was like an English barrier, and you know, that makes it really hard when you don't speak the language. So that was definitely tough and a struggle for him because his English just really wasn't fluent. So we're going with like a gray vibe today. Get it? Greyhound. Cool tones. You guys get it. So Vincent wasn't like an aggressive person that anybody knew of. Like, everybody said he was pretty, like, you know, nice and chill. And yeah, so he really wasn't known to be aggressive really at all. So in 2006, he moved to Edmonton, Canada, and he just worked a whole bunch of like random jobs. And you know, nothing that he actually got his degree in, so it was really frustrating for him. I know he did like some fast food jobs and stuff like that, but yeah, nothing that he actually got his degree in, which is, you know, really frustrating to get your degree in something and you're not even working in that field. So that was going on, and he was just working a whole bunch of like rando jobs. So Vincent was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Someone in my family really close to me has had schizophrenia, and it's just honestly can turn out really bad, and you guys will see in this story. If you don't treat schizophrenia, it just is like a recipe for disaster, and I know that personally, so it's just very frustrating. Yeah. So he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he didn't treat his schizophrenia, and he also ended up getting a divorce. So his wife Anna, they ended up splitting up, and actually it wasn't even her that was like, no sir, it was him that was like, no ma'am. I think he was just depressed, and he ends up leaving a note for her that just says, quote, "I'm done, I'm gone, don't look for me. I wish you were happy." So that's what he said, end quote. So Anna was really surprised to see that like one day she just came home and there was like a note for her. That's literally what it said, and that was that. So Anna was surprised. She said that she didn't see it coming, and Vincent was just gone. Vincent was gone. So back to current day. So Tim had to transfer buses, the Erickson bus, I believe. Yeah, Tim had to transfer buses from the Erickson bus to get to the bus that he needed to go back to like Winnipeg. So he ended up staying the night on a bench, like just randomly sleeping on a bench, because I guess that's when the bus was coming and he kind of was just stuck. So he sleeps on a bench that night, and Vincent is actually there too, and he just stares at him sleeping on the bench like this whole time. So it's kind of awkward, right? He just was staring at him. That's what a witness was saying, is that he was just staring at Tim during this time of sleeping on the bench. First of all, I would have to go get me a hotel. I could not just like sleep on the bench waiting for my bus, but that's what Tim did. He was just like, forget it. I'm sleeping on the bench. I'm waiting till my bus comes. So yeah, Vincent at 3 a.m. was just staring at him sleeping on the bench. So that is so like just sketchy and just creepy. I feel like he was just staring at him just sleeping on the bench. Like, weird. Are we gonna blend today? Yes, let's blend. Just never know with shadows some days. So Vincent sold some of his luggage. I guess he needed some coin while he was waiting for the bus. So he like sold some computer stuff, and yeah, he just sold some luggage. So at 6:55, the bus pulls up. So Tim decides to sit in the back of the bus, and you know, that's just where he is comfortable sitting. So he sits in the back. So Tim sits in the back of the bus and Vincent sits in the front of the bus. So that's like the seating arrangement that they have. The bus ends up taking like, you know, like a little rest pit stop where people are getting up, they're stretching their legs, they're getting snacks, like all that good stuff. When you've been traveling for a long time, you need to get up and you need to stretch those legs, right? Because it's a 24-hour bus ride. So, you know, they have to take some kind of break and stop in between. So that's what they do, is they just, you know, take a break. Now, when they get back on the bus, people have moved seats a little bit, and Vincent actually decides to sit in the back of the bus next to Tim this time. Vincent sits next to Tim on the bus, in the back of the bus, and so, you know, Tim starts talking to him and they have like a friendly little exchange or whatever, and they talk. And he's just basically like, hi, how are you, kind of thing. What the kind of things you say when you first see someone for the first time or meet them or whatever. So they talk, and, you know, Tim is friendly. And then Tim decides that he's tired, he wants to take a nap. So he puts in his headphones and he is going to just sleep on some of this bus ride, because you guys, it is a long bus ride, 24 hours, remember that. So about 8:30, passengers just start hearing like a random screaming coming from like the back of the bus, and they don't know why or what's happening. So, you know, when there's someone screaming, you start panicking, right? And you want to get up out of there because you don't know what's going on. So it turns out that Tim was actually stabbed, and that's what that screaming sound was, coming from the back of the bus. Vincent had started attacking Tim for no apparent reason at all. So Vincent was stabbed in the neck and in the chest, which I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Like, this poor guy, like, he didn't do anything to anybody, and he really didn't deserve any of this. Like, this is some I am so, all these cases always make me so mad, because it's just like, why? A lot of the cases like make no sense. And yeah, so Vincent stabbed him in the chest and the neck, and he just started literally attacking the hell out of this guy. Poor Tim. Poor Tim. So everybody exits the bus in fear, obviously, of what's going on, and all the passengers are like staring outside of the bus and just like, oh my god, just honestly just in pure shock. Like, wouldn't you be shocked if you were on a bus and someone just started getting attacked for like no reason? Like, I would be freaked out. I would be flying off of that bus, okay? Like, you are not going to keep me on this bus. So yes, the bus driver pulls over, and everyone just like flies out of the bus and is like, oh my god, like, no, like, what's going on? And then they end up trapping Vincent in the bus because they obviously don't want him to get out. This man is crazy. So they keep him in the bus, and they are trying to hold the doors together, the bus driver is, because at first the bus driver tries to make him stop attacking Tim, but then Vincent kind of turns on him like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing. So the bus driver's like, oh hell no, and he gets off the bus too, and he just tries to hold the doors together so Vincent can't get off the bus. They also kill the power on the bus so Vincent can't escape, because Vincent is trying to get out of the bus, and they obviously don't want that because this man is super dangerous, and they don't want him to escape either and get away with what he's done. So they turn off the bus, so there's no way for him to get off the bus. He is also trying to get in the driver's seat and like drive the bus away as well, because he is just desperately trying to escape. But then eventually he gives up, and he just goes back to just mutilating poor Tim for just no reason. He starts like biting into his flesh, and this is a trigger warning, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna go too graphic in any of my videos, but he goes in on Tim for no reason. Like, he starts taking his body apart, ripping his organs out, and just like eating some of it. Like, what is wrong with this guy? He just went ape shit out of nowhere. That's what he's doing, and everyone is like looking into the bus like they don't want to look, but it's so hard not to look because it's just like, it's crazy. I don't even know, like, I couldn't even imagine watching something like this unfold. That is literally a nightmare. That is a pure nightmare. So everybody's watching this horrible travesty just happen on the bus, and they just kind of can't look away but don't want to look at the same time, kind of feeling. Like, I totally understand this feeling. That's what the witnesses were saying, is that they couldn't stop looking but they didn't want to look. I understand why, because like, yeah. So he's like walking up and down the bus, like screaming and chanting these crazy things and just saying all these things, and like I said, just he also, I believe, starts beheading Tim as well, which is so gruesome and disgusting. So they didn't know if Tim was alive during this time, but I mean, everyone was in such a panic, and there really was no way to get to him because Tim was just, I mean, Vincent was just so dangerous, and there was really no way for them to get to Tim to try to save him if he was alive, because Vincent was there gonna attack them, you know? So it's like, what could they really do besides just watch this horrible thing? So of course 911 was called, and the authorities are on the way as fast as they can. But by this time, unfortunately, Tim is gone. He has passed away by the time police get there. And like I said, his body is just like ripped to shreds. Like he's eating it, and it's just disgusting and a really horrific scene. And it's just, yeah, I can't even imagine. They also said he was putting like body parts in plastic bags. Like, I don't know what this dude was doing or thinking. Like, obviously we know he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, so he wasn't in his right mind by any means. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna do something like this to anyone, like, you can't be in your right mind, right? Especially if they didn't do anything to you, right? Like, crazy. This is just insane. This story, I couldn't believe it. Like, just imagine putting yourself in there, in the witnesses like situation, being on this bus as a passenger, and you're witnessing like all of this stuff going on, and poor Tim, like, guys, I can't even imagine. Another bus driver comes and tries to like help the situation because they saw this bus pulled over, and you know, he thought he could like assist in what's going on. I don't know why this bus driver even thought that. I would not have done this. But he opens the doors and he goes into the bus, and he tries to stop Vincent and tell him to stop. Vincent tells him, quote, "Get emergency." So the bus driver knew he was in over his head, so he gets his ass out of there too, and he's like, okay, I can't do anything. And I don't know why he thought he could in the first place, but you know, he tried to help. He tried. So the bus driver saw him starting to cut off Tim's head, and yeah, he flew the coop after that. He was like, I gotta go. So the police still aren't there. They took like 30 minutes to get to this area and, you know, help with this situation. So about this whole situation took place at like 8:30, and then the police actually finally got there at 9 p.m. So, you know, they took a minute to get there. When the police got there, the passengers were obviously taken to be questioned, you know, so they could find out exactly what happened, when, and all of that stuff. Vincent later tries to escape while the police were there, and definitely failed. It's not funny, but like, I'm glad he didn't escape. Like, I don't know why he thought he was gonna escape, but he tried it. So he tried to escape out of the back window of the bus, and the police like tased him. So there's that. So they got him, they apprehended him, he was tased, he was down, and yeah, that was really how they ended up catching him. I mean, I think it's better that he was, you know, caught outside of the bus, because in the bus it's like close quarters, you know. So I think it would have been easier to try to let him escape, have the whole area surrounded, and then, you know, did what they did, because they were able to tase him, or if they have to shoot him, like whatever, at least they can like apprehend him outside of the bus, because I feel like in the bus it's just very close quarters, and it would just be hard to do that. So a good thing he tried to, you know, get up out of the bus. So after this, they bus everybody to Walmart. Everybody that was on the bus, they bring them to Walmart to replace their clothes that they had gotten like all kinds of bodily fluids on, like blood, all of that. They give them some money to be able to buy new clothes and stuff, because all of their stuff, a lot of it was like ruined and covered in blood. So they did that. That's what Greyhound did for the passengers. However, they didn't really help them further on. They didn't like help them with any kind of counseling or anything like that. That was basically on their own, and a lot of the passengers had severe like PTSD and all that from watching this horrible event just like unfold right in front of their eyes. So yeah, a lot of their stories are insane, just the things they went through afterward. The poor passengers had to witness all of this, and their lives were just like never the same, and a lot of them struggled really hard. Some turned to drugs and alcohol, some just lost their mind. Like, a lot of them went through a lot of things after this, so keep that in mind. These poor passengers were also victims too. And obviously Tim was the main victim. He suffered it physically and lost his life due to this horrible incident. But I just wanted to bring up that the passengers really were victims too, and also really suffered in this whole tragedy. And Greyhound really did nothing to help them besides buy them clothes from Walmart. Like, my clothes weren't even from Walmart that got ruined in the first place. That's what I would be like. And then after they went to Walmart, then the passengers were bussed home. They were taken on a bus back to where they were trying to go in the first place before all this took place. So what happens after this is Vincent pleads not guilty to reason of insanity, because obviously he already has a diagnosis. Vincent claims that there was voices in his head telling him to do all of this. So I mean, we do know that Vincent did suffer from schizophrenia. Like, we do know that. However, I mean, I don't know, you would have to be insane to do something like that, right? Like, I don't know, you guys. So Vincent claims that the voices in his head were telling him that Tim was evil, and that if he didn't kill him, that he would have to, then he would lose. Sirens in every video, I'm telling you guys. My city is wilding out here with all kinds of stuff going on. Like, there's sirens all day long. I've never lived in a city where there were so many sirens. A lot of emergencies happening. Vincent tells police that God told him that he had to kill Tim or else he was going to be killed. So it was that kind of situation. And I mean, obviously his schizophrenia had a lot to do with that, because, you know, voices, they go in hand with schizophrenia. So Vincent was charged with second-degree murder, but not criminally responsible due to his mental illness and his schizophrenia. So Will goes to a mental institution to serve out like his sentence and try to get this man some help, because obviously he needed it, because he left his schizophrenia just completely untreated, and he never sought help for it or was taking any medication. So he ends up in a mental facility and not in a prison. I don't know if that's better or not. I mean, he definitely had mental illness and he was diagnosed with something pretty severe. I just wish that he would have treated it. But I do know from personal experience that a lot of people, when they're diagnosed with schizophrenia, just from my personal experience, they do not believe that they really have this or that they're really sick. So it's kind of like, it's a hard one, you guys. It's definitely a hard one. So a lot of the times they don't think that they're sick, and that probably also played into why he didn't get help in the first place for his schizophrenia. So he ends up being at the treatment facility for a few years. So Vincent ends up being at this treatment facility for like a few years, and then he ends up being released. Yes, he was released back into the public. He ends up changing his name to Will Baker and really just goes on and lives the rest of his life. He's out there in the world right now, you guys, with the rest of us. Who knows if he'll snap again? Hopefully he won't. Hopefully they did like wonders at this treatment facility. Okay, so my final thoughts. I just really wish that Vincent would have been treated. I know mental illness is a really tough one. It's really hard. But this whole situation literally could have been avoided. Been treated for his mental illness. And yeah, you guys, I just feel really bad for Tim's family. He was full of life, way too young to lose his life. Especially for no reason over something like this was just insane to me. Greyhound, like I said, did not really do much about this incident. I know it's not their fault or anything like that, but you know, I just feel like they could have been a little bit more like caring about the witnesses and the passengers, because they were victims too. And yeah, so Mr. Will Baker, that once was Vincent Lee. Yes, Mr. Will Baker is out there roaming around amongst the rest of us. Used to be Vincent Lee, and hopefully, like I said again, there's no incidences and he lives the rest of his life peacefully and he doesn't do anything like this again. But yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe. Not like because you like the story is crazy, but like if you want to support me, and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Also, if you guys want to see more of my life, I have a whole other channel where I do all mom lifestyle stuff. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. If you guys want to see more of me and my lifestyle, mom life, all of that good stuff, that will be down below in the description. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you know every week when I upload a video, because there will be a new one every single week. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Do you really mean that?
Unfortunately, recently, quote, it said, I'm... Ow, just hit my elbow. Vincent was charged with second degree, but who knows, you guys?
Are you done?
Almost.
How much is almost?
Hi, how are you?
Sorry.
No, it's good. Are you coming in?
No, just